Hey guys, welcome to Chronicles of a Therapist. I'm Cassandra Shepard. So I know that it's been a minute. It's been a little minute since y'all have seen me. Lots been going on. We'll catch up. But I kind of wanted to start off. I was just able to spend some time with my best friend of 20 plus years. Everybody got that friend who's been around for forever and a day. Yeah, that's that one. So we were talking over the weekend about being the strong friend and what happens when you are one, the strong friend of many. So you might have different friend pockets or family members or cousins or close cousins, and you're the strong friend in many areas. But it seems very, very alone. And we were just talking about a situation where she realized how much she was a strong friend. And when she needed the most help, she never reached out to anybody. And I know that as somebody who also is a strong friend, and society tells us that we got to be strong and we can't be vulnerable and we got to be supportive of everybody, that it's very, very difficult when you're struggling and need help to ask for it. So we're going to dive in a little bit with that. So the first thing I want to talk about is something that I think once you hit 38 plus, I would say, the idea of being an emergency contact, like who is your emergency contact? For those of us who are not married, you 38 and your mama's still your, you know, emergency contact can be kind of different. And it shows that like being that strong person and being everybody's everything, we usually don't have people who back us up because we're their people, right? And so we just talked about how odd it is. We're 40 now, and the emergency contact is still our moms. We working on it, and hopefully soon that can change. But along with being the strong friend, I want to talk about the labor and what it takes on your body, your mind, and your spirit. Like, because you're not, like I said, most of us don't just aren't just a strong person in one avenue. Usually it's in your work, it's in your inner circle friends, it's in your work buddies, it's in your sibling group. It's multiple places where we are carrying and trying to figure out and being empathetic. And sometimes people are financially helping and giving up your time and sacrificing yourself in so many different ways that it begins to deteriorate your body and your mind and sometimes your spirit. And so it's important for us to know how to halt that and what that looks like and what are the barriers that affect us being able to navigate in those spaces and be vulnerable and ask for help and not feel bad. Something that I think is interesting, something that I've kind of been exploring, I would say the last year and a half, is when you're the strong person and it started from childhood, whether you are a child of somebody with addictions or an only child or the oldest of multiple siblings. When you are relied upon younger and you have to be the person to do everything, you kind of put on this armor of I'm invincible. I don't have the space or energy to be weak. And so you become everybody's Hulk, if you will. Like when I think about myself being a strong person in a lot of my different relationships and friendships and family, it's me. And I feel like I don't because I have this Hulk ideology of being the strong person, I'm not asking for help. And if you know anything about the Hulk, he's not always strong like that. He's very intelligent. He's a scientist, and he only gets like that and is super strong when he's upset. So even if that parallel, like not being able to tap into your inner self and know why do you feel like you need to be strong? What happened? What did life show you? What experiences have you had that caused you to feel like you have to be the strong one? So for me that comes from having a parent who was an addict. My dad has I've talked about my parents a lot, so if you've been here for a minute, some of their struggles. But it caused me, even being the youngest of my brothers for my mom and in the middle for my dad's girls, I'm still the strong one. I'm still the one holding things together, even at the fault of my own self. I've lost jobs dealing with my dad and his shenanigans because I didn't know how to say to the people who might have needed to hear it, I need a little time. I'm struggling. And when you're the strong friend, it's hard to do that. It's hard to be honest and say, I'm struggling. And what does that look like? So, um, and a lot of times we tend to have this resentment to those people in our life. We have resentment to people not seeing when we need help, when we're inwardly crying. A lot of us don't say anything. Can really be going through some for real stuff. Some of the strongest people that I know have been suicidal, have attempted suicide, have had severe bipolar and other mental health symptoms and stuff go on. Not just that, then their body, they have, those are the people who might have lupus and all those autoimmune chronic diseases that come from the stress that we carry in our body, fibromyalgia, things like that, where there's studies, go look it up, where the trauma and the stress that we carry begins to like undo our body. And so there's a resentment with that. Being the strong person, people are, I'm so close to these people. Why can't they see when I need help? And so I think about reciprocity and how important that is. And so with that reciprocity, I think I've talked about this before, but I believe that friendships have a pyramid. And if you know what a pyramid is, there's levels. And a lot of us feel like as we grow up and as we go through life, that everybody got to be, it's like upside down. So everybody has to be close to me up top. Everybody, my friends, my coworkers, my family members, my cousins. And the reality, as you get older and you go through experiences and you lose friendships and people walk away from you and you walk away from people, you realize everybody can't be that close to you, whether you're the strong friend or not, because everybody doesn't have that capacity to engage in what you actually need in friendships and relationships. A lot of us forget, yes, a lot of people, it's just me. I want to be alone. I don't need anybody, but we do. Yes, we did come into this world alone. Yes, but we were born to people. So for us to say that we came alone, you were born to people and into a family. If we were born alone, then it would just be in the woods somewhere with nobody around. There are people around. It's just how you decide to depend on them and lean on them. So anyway, back to the pyramid. The biggest way when you're a strong friend is to identify the different levels. So there are people who might lean on you, but they're not really, really close. They don't really know a lot about you. You really don't talk to them. They really don't know the intimate, intricate details of your life because all of us, whether you want to admit it or not, we have different layers of ourselves. Everybody doesn't know. My coworkers don't know certain parts of me. My siblings might know more because they've been around, but even in that, they might not know who I am now. So everybody has different layers and levels of who they are within themselves. And you can't allow everybody down here. That would be like everybody you run in contact with. Everybody. You go to a certain Dunkin' every day. Those people, everybody you come in contact. And in reality, everybody is not your friend. You can have really cool coworkers, cool, while we at work. I'll never tell you what I got going on at home for whatever reason. It could be a lot of different reasons, but that is our boundary that we have set up. So then you have your in the middle people. So those people might be a combination of family members or long term friends. A lot of us have, and I've talked about this before, have long term friendships, and sometimes because of the experience and the length of time, we tend to have a level of loyalty and feel like because of the length of time knowing these people and going through major life experiences that they should stick around. And just because that length of time is there does not mean that they are good friendships or good relationships in your life at all. Length of time does not mean quality. In some capacities, sure, but not every capacity. And so understanding what that middle level, yeah, we got some intimacy, we got some closeness, but I don't feel necessarily as safe as I would like to be. And then at the top, those are your people who I would say would be, if you grew up in church, the inner circle. Or your very, very, very close people, those people that you can talk to every day, those people that you can cry in front of, the people that, even though you struggle asking for help, they can hear it. They know to call you randomly. I got a couple best friends in my life who just randomly like, "Hey, you was on my mind. What's going on?" I ain't said nothing, but because we're so close and we've shared so many emotional moments and it's safe, we can flow like that. And if you look at a pyramid, it's not that many people. And sometimes as we get older, we feel like we got to keep it going. It's got to keep going. No, no, people can move. People absolutely can move because sometimes life's experiences, being the strong friend and not being able to be vulnerable about what you really got going on and who you really are. Yeah, some people going to have to move because they don't even really know who you are. So they're connected to you and they don't even know who you are. They really don't know who you are because you shield yourself from them. For me, the people that I am closest to know all parts of myself. From, hey, I'm a PK. Hey, I've got degrees, and I'm in management, and all those different parts, to I'm a big goofball, I'm dramatic, I'm a big kid. I like, so all of those different pieces and parts that make you who you are, they are privy to that. And I'm not saying in a creepy way, not in like a like middle school best friend where you always, not like that, but there's a level of, I know this person and I know what they believe, and I know that they love and care about me, and I feel safe with them even when I don't want to be safe. So hopefully, um you think about what that looks like, being a strong person, in ways that you can change and challenge that. Strength without support eventually becomes exhaustion. So at some point, you run out of your energy. You're exhausted. You're overwhelmed. You're overstimulated. If you like this content, I'd like for you to like, share, and subscribe. You can find me on Instagram at cnshep_chronicles. And remember to allow your passion to prepare your purpose. See you next time, guys.